We'll do the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Comprehensive plan hearing. I don't see Logan, do I?
No, gonna be okay.
Oh,
We have a team meeting for him. We're looking to approve the comprehensive plan without the maps tonight. We've had some discrepancy with the maps and between our engineered maps, Fillmore County GIS, and with what the state DOT is showing. So I have a request into the state. They were actually looking back into the archives to see if there have been any detachments, things like that. And so until we get that clarified, I mean, even on our current maps, our current engineered maps right now are missing a 39-acre section. So we'll want to get that clarified before we adopt the maps for the comprehensive plan. For the comprehensive plan, I mean, we've worked on it quite extensively, and I think it lays out where we want to go quite well. There he is.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
That's good.
All right.
Yes, we can.
Hey, all right.
I was very nervous about this. I will be honest. This is my first time doing this, so I'm glad it's
Yeah.
going off without a hitch thus far. I shouldn't have jinxed myself, but I just did, so.
Okay. You can hear me okay, and you see my screen. I have the just like a title page up right now.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready when you guys are.
Go ahead. The floor is yours. so to speak.
All right. I'll make sure we're all here for the comprehensive plan. This is the city council meeting for December 12th, 2023. So we'll start with that. I know some of you, excuse me, are familiar with what the purpose of a comprehensive plan is, but I thought I'd just throw this slide up. I always try and start these kind of first meetings with the description, but a comprehensive plan is a long-term policy that acts as a manual to guide decision makers about the growth of the community. The plan acts as both an expression of the community's vision for the future, but also as a strategic map to reach that vision. So how did we get to where we are? We started this back, first meeting was back in October 5th of 2022. We had 5 meetings that led up to this. And as far as the community engagement and involvement goes, we started a comprehensive plan committee. I got the names of the people up on the screen there in the bottom left, but it entailed about 10 people. And really what we try to do is just prioritize what the planning categories are, or what's important to the city of Harmony. And so it's this upper left really was kind of the focus of all the meetings throughout. And with every comprehensive plan, there's community awareness. So we had a community night out event on August 1st, 2023. We also had a city website link, where people could go and actually review the final draft if they so chose. For, I think, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like 3 or 4 months at least, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we had it up for quite a few months.
Yep. And then we just held the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on November 1st of 2023. And they recommended approval to the council for public hearing and adoption. And that's where we're at here today. There were some suggested modifications and changes. Those are on the screen. I don't know if you'd like me to go through them. Councilmember Himley had some suggestions. So that was kind of the basis of the Planning Commission on November 1st. And then we went through those comments and also had some of our own changes as well, which led really to the draft that's in front of you. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at it. A couple other things that we discussed was the official zoning map and the modifications. And I think when I joined, Sam, you were explaining kind of what's going on with the recorded city limits. And it's really pretty important to know where that is, because we need to adopt an official zoning map as part of this process. And then also a future land use plan map. So understanding where those city limits are in relationship to what the city thinks are the boundaries are pretty important. So I think we're still waiting on verification from the state of Minnesota on that.
Yes, that's correct. And hopefully we'll have that back within maybe a month or two, but not sure how long that's gonna take. So
Does this need to be a public hearing tonight?
Yeah, so this
yes,
was
the public-
noticed, yep, in the paper. I don't know, I
Okay.
can't see if anybody's in the audience, but is there anybody from the public other than the council that's present?
Just a few people, but I
Okay.
think we should officially open the public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Said that.
Okay.
Okay.
And so then with every comprehensive plan, there's a future land use map. And again, the city limits are important because, and this is kind of the growth boundary that's projected for the next 20 years. So the map that's on the left is what was based on the previous city limits and how the city would like to grow with our notes. But again, this will change once we have the city limits verified. So really the requested action here tonight is staff is recommending the city council make a motion to approve the updated comprehensive plan, text only at this time, with the updated maps to follow. We'll have to have another public hearing once these things get ironed out. And then at that meeting, we'll just be adopting the maps. So that's pretty much all I have for presentation. So I will take any questions at this time.
Logan, this is Michael Himley, and
Yeah.
when the comp plan was up on the website, how many folks did you have reach out to you from the community?
I had one person reach out.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yep.
And with whatever they said, was that adequately implemented within the plan?
Yeah, it wasn't a text change or anything like that. It was more of a question and clarification. So that was addressed. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Are there any other questions?
Not hearing any.
Okay.
Remember, guys, you can't hear you shake your head.
No.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear that.
And I do have the draft up on the screen if there's anything that somebody wants to reference specifically.
I did.
Really,
get-
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Logan. I did get the new draft that you sent up on our website
Yep.
as well.
Okay.
It does have its own comprehensive plan link under City of Harmony, under the drop down. So there is a new, with all the changes and such out there, without the maps. So.
Okay. And assuming the council adopts the comprehensive plan here tonight, this would become the official, so it won't be a draft anymore. It'll be the official policy document for the comprehensive plan, so that the lettering, the watermark that you see for draft will be removed. And then once we get the city limit line figured out, we'll update the maps and have to hold another public hearing to adopt the maps.
Why does it reference Lewiston in the economic development? Page 34.
Where?
Page 34, economic development.
On your
About-
list of changes or suggested changes in that initial slide.
That was probably from me. I
yeah.
read a variety of other comprehensive plans and just kind of picked and chose what I found would be helpful for us to have
I see.
and made suggestions that way. But I don't think it says Lewiston in the actual comprehensive plan.
No, No, yeah, it shouldn't.
Okay.
If it did, I apologize. I don't think it does, but yeah, that was my recollection as well. Councilmember Henley, is that was you had seen something in the Lewiston comprehensive plan that you liked and some wording and asked if we could also have something similar to that.
Okay. And then I'm just curious as to why approve it now? Is it something to be done by the first of the year, or why aren't we waiting for the maps and approving the whole thing, the whole package?
I think it's more of a timing thing. That's really up to you guys to decide if you want to adopt everything together. Just because we're waiting for the state and not knowing how long it's going to take for them to respond. I didn't want this to just be hanging out there. But, if that's something that the council would like to entertain tonight, we can certainly adopt everything together. I don't have a personal preference, just that we were trying to get this done here by the end of this year.
And that was the planning and zoning's recommendation too, was to move forward with it, to not hold it up just because
Correct.
the maps were not.
Okay.
We were still researching that.
And this helps also with our ordinances too and how we move forward. And we do have new ordinances purchased, they just haven't been gone through to see how they fit the needs for the city of Harmony. There's just a lot been going on at the end of this year that I figured it was something we could hold on to for next year. But we needed to have this in place too before we could really move forward with any changes.
And then just in general, if something shows up a year or two later, do future councils have the ability to change things in this plan?
Yeah. Yes, it can be amended.
Yeah.
I think, right, Logan?
Absolutely. Yeah, and actually, so I would encourage that. The comprehensive plan is really a living and breathing document. The textual is policy, and then the future land use plan obviously is the picture representation of the future growth. But, things come up, right? And things change. So this document can be modified, changed, improved, as development occurs in the city of Harmony, or maybe goals and objectives change, throughout the year. But I would even encourage the city of Harmony maybe revisit the comprehensive plan in 5 years, just to see if something maybe isn't true to the city of Harmony anymore. But yeah, absolutely. If there's a change the city council wants, or planning commission later on, that's certainly something that can be modified later.
All right. Well, does anybody have any questions? If not, are you done with your presentation?
I am.
Okay.
Yep, I can
All right.
stop sharing.
All right. Thank you very much.
I don't know if you would like me to hang on and listen, if you're opening it up to the public or what, but I could certainly hang on here if you need me to.
We do have a resolution to adopt the comprehensive plan without the maps. And so I'd like to, if you so choose, get a motion in a second to move forward with that. And
Do we want to make sure everyone and anyone in the audience wants to speak?
correct.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
you want that first?
Yep.
And seeing that nobody is stepping forward to speak, we will close the public hearing. And
I'll make a motion to approve the comp plan as presented tonight.
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Well, thank you, Logan.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody, and appreciate you accommodating my request here tonight. I'm a coach for my daughter's traveling basketball team, so I needed to be there tonight for practice. We have a game coming up, so I appreciate your willingness to work with me on this.
Thank you.
Logan.
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right.
That's a public hearing number 2.
Yes, we'll open the truth and taxation hearing. Anybody here to speak on that? Hearing and seeing no public input, well, I'd make a motion to approve resolution 2316.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Harmony Fire Department.
No, I didn't.
Which packets did you?
It's just an updated quote.
I did,
Oh,
I didn't know if you had.
No.
I'm Fire chief, Harmony Fire, we're looking at, to buy a new truck, to update a truck that'll be 30 years old, which we've been working on, is trying to replace trucks every 30 years. Just looking to see if it's all right to go ahead and get this truck ordered. We'll be replacing a 97 pumper with a 2026 pumper tanker. The price is $522,920. And it is gonna take 3 years to get. If we don't order it before January, it's gonna take 5 years to get, 4 to 5 years to get, and add $100,000 to the price. You have a packet here, there is a prepay option of, we pay 100% after order, we will save $38,963 approximately. There's also a performance bond, we got a lot of options. Not sure what we have in the truck fund.
we have about 180,000 right now to date. So, you know, if you guys have been putting away and saving cash quite regularly, about 25, 30,000 every year, just in regular outlay, plus whatever Relief Association is able to contribute to your fund.
This truck is gonna take about 3 years to get.
So then we would have another, next year's set aside amount would go into that fund. We don't have that in there currently.
We don't have that in it currently, no. So right now you have 2023's funds in there. Here's right around that 179, 180 amount. So if you figure another 120,000, if it takes 3-4 years, depending on what you're able to put away between regular savings and then fire relief, any donations, plus your trade.
Well, we talked about, just talking with Tom from McQueen, we trade, he's figuring about 50,000. If they have a broker company, that they would put it out to the whole United States. And then we could deposit, he said the truck's worth 125,000. So we can kind of go off of that. We only pay half down right away, and we cut the 38,000 in half. Want to pay half later, otherwise we don't have to pay anything until delivery, and we have an option to back out if something happens.
And then just to remind the council that the city's portion would only be half of this, the townships would pick up the other half potentially.
I think we do have a truck coming off pretty soon, so we don't have to raise all their stuff, where it kind of be keep going with the same and not have to raise anything if I remember right.
Correct. Yep. We do have a truck coming off, I think in 24 next year.
I think we were gonna try to figure out how to keep going with that to get this truck.
Correct. So it wouldn't change the township contribution really very minimally if it did change at all. It would just stay on that rotation.
So how it currently works is the township pays a certain amount and that's going to truck payments for services provided.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
This would change our pumping capacity. We would up at about 250 gallons per minute with all three. We would have three 250 gallon or 1,250 gallon per minute pumps for the city of Harmony. And then we would have 3 tankers for rural use, which would help our ISO rating.
Correct.
I guess just need your permission to go ahead with it. I do have a contract, just gotta sign it and get it going to. If we wait too long, I'm afraid it's gonna be, because then we jump into another category of,
It's emissions, so the 2027 emissions, if we don't go ahead and purchase this, it's part of the added cost if we wait till 2024, because it'll be a 2027 model or later. Chassis, which gets into emissions, there's a new emission standard coming out in 2027, which increases the cost of the chassis.
so if I have your permission, I will order the truck tomorrow, and it'll be 2.5 to 3 years to get.
Do you think we can use the other funds and come up with the payment?
400 and some.
In
Yeah.
whole,
Mhm,
we basically rob our whole
mhm.
capital outlay fund. Makes me sick to my stomach thinking about that. I'll be honest. I don't like that option.
What do we earn on that?
It just sits there.
Huh?
It just sits there. Nothing.
Is that
The-
so?
It's just.
There's some CDs, right?
Well, we do. Yeah, that's for
Interest?
bills. We have some other funding. Yeah, some other things that. But I could check into that.
So in the past, you've used like the electrical fund, is that what you're talking about?
Mhm.
The electrical fund?
Yep.
the Fund to try to cover the balance.
We could, but we have some major projects coming up that I really
It'd be
not
nice to
comfortable
save
doing that.
38,000, but it doesn't seem
No.
too comfortable right now.
That's not, in relation to the contract, that's not a huge amount. I just,
No.
No, and like
But
I
it's-
said, we could put, we have probably close to half.
You have pretty close to half. And once you get through the next couple of years, you're going to have pretty close to half. Also, we haven't even asked for, we haven't looked at any grants yet. Or can we do, well, no, wait, we can't do grants because,
So I did talk to
Or
Chris.
can
He
we?
said a little bit about USDA because we've used them in the past, but our financial wealth in the Harmony area is too strong. So we don't qualify like we did the last time we did this. So we would only get like a 15% match on 50,000 and they didn't know. And they have a new individual and they're saying basically if we go ahead and make this purchase, order it, even though we're not maybe paying for it or we're
That's
doing that we aren't probably eligible for those funds. They do have a loan option through the USDA that could be explored if we wanted to explore that. It's a cheaper rate than what we could get through McQueen's, or it would probably be comparable to the bank.
but we haven't checked with the bank either to
We haven't
see
checked with the bank.
what our
The
loan
other
rate would
thing
be.
that Chris and I talked about was maybe seeing Compeer Financial.
Mhm.
Does some work with CETA that they might be, have a rate that we could get into. Those are just options that I looked at. Nothing set in concrete because we didn't know what was, it's basically what the council wants to do moving forward for.
And we have an out
Financial.
option for this. So if something, we do have an out. We don't have to take the truck. Correct? They have I didn't,
Opt-out- They have an opt-out clause.
an opt-out clause?
And what's the purpose of the performance bond if we wanted that?
Yeah.
So
That is if,
They can't deliver it or?
Didn't deliver a truck
Pierce goes out of business.
or didn't deliver a truck. So if you chose to prepay anything, I would say it's probably worth it. Just because of the amount of money you're dealing with and the timeline it's on. A lot could happen in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for it is it's only gonna take 3 months to build the truck. It's the chassis. Freightliner chassis is what's, it's Pierce building, it's 3 months. Once they have the chassis, it's 3 months to build.
Basically, the way Tom explained it to us was that with COVID, it hit, and basically nobody was ordering because they didn't know what the financial future was. And then when that kind of came off in 22, probably, they got like 7 years of orders. And then there was another where they got increased the price drastically, and they got a bunch more orders. So they're like 7 or 8 years behind on orders, and they're trying to catch up, which pushes us out to 3. Because typically this would be a year and 18 months truck to build.
And if we pay half now, when is that due?
Before the first year. Or, yes, I think it was before the first year, if I remember right.
It would be, yeah, I don't know exactly.
About-
It-
It'd be this month.
The overviews
And I didn't
says
hear,
at
do they give us
contract signing.
half the discount if we pay half? Yeah.
So if that's what we're doing, where is that?
It's not in the one that I gave you. I don't know if it's in the one Craig has, which is updated. This was a placeholder because we had it from, this was the
Yeah,
initial.
the one I got is just some stuff changed and everything. I think everything else is.
Yeah,
the
I
same.
don't see the half in here. That
He
might-
just said that if you do half, what he told us, then you get half the discount to us.
Sure.
He might have to redo the agreement a little bit if we choose to do that. So
Okay. So where are we proposing that the $261 or $261,000 comes from?
the bulk of it would come from
Bulk of it would come
180,
from the
outlay.
outlay, because there's about 180,000 there.
Yeah.
And we would take an inter-fund loan from another healthier fund, electric, water.
And this might get a hair cheaper, but not a lot cheaper. We'll get some changes, so. It's not gonna exceed this price, let's put it that way.
Okay,
There-
well,
there-
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the new truck and pay half down and do the performance bond.
I'll second. Greg, did you want to speak to language?
I was just going to comment that there, in this letter, there's some language about they're reserving the right to change price if costs change on them. So that leaves a door open. How significant that is, I don't know, but
Well, how it was explained to us is that this was the maximum number we're gonna pay. If we lock this price in, even though it's 3 years out, this is the price we're gonna pay for this truck.
Okay.
That's what it's explained. Yeah.
sure.
Unless we make
Hopefully,
changes.
yeah.
We make changes.
You're right. Then, yeah, then
Our
certainly.
changes are gonna be hopefully to make it cheaper.
Yeah. So, yeah. This is just a cover letter, right? Not the actual contract.
That sends you the actual contract.
I don't have the
No.
contract.
I was-
I have the actual contract here.
Hopefully they're dealing in good faith and you're right. They would stick to it.
They- I
But
mean-
they have some boilerplate language in here. They probably have in every one of these that says any future drivetrain upgrades or any other specification changes have not been calculated. So that they might be talking about what you guys
Yeah.
come back to them with.
We did a change.
But then they also reserve the right to update pricing in response to manufacturer imposed increases as a result of inflation, PPI inflation. So,
They have a pretty good reputation. Worldwide. I mean, we've had good luck with it in the past. This will be our fourth truck.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carries. And then it'll be good if we can see the contract and
Mhm.
everything before it's
Before it's done, yep.
sent and
Can
signed.
you leave me, do you have the original contract or
I got it right here. I can email it to you.
can you email it to me? That'd be great. Yep. Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for
All right,
Thanks, Craig.
thanks, Craig. Sheriff's contract renewal.
Yeah, this is updated. This is, how do I want to say it? When Sheriff DeGeorge came here and spoke, yeah, September, October, somewhere around in there. Might have even been August. No, September. He was talking about how they're kind of restructuring, the sheriff's office. We don't have any part-time deputies, et cetera. This is our, it's the Mabel and Harmony contract that goes back to the 2000. Updating our our coverage time. The coverage is going to start January 1st of 2024. $61. We're going to per hour rate. We don't have to. We don't own the squad car anymore. We don't have to worry about that expense or the fuel, the insurance, all those things. The cities are agreeing to pay the $378,505 for 17 hours, which would be $126,168 for police servicing for each city. We're dividing that amongst Harmony, Canton, and Mabel. Just asking for an approval on that and a renewal for that. Currently, what we pay, it's not even quite $1,000 difference from what we pay now. So,
You said it was around 121,000.
nope, it's actually 126,168. We pay just a little over 125 now.
Yeah, $126,160 it's in the contract.
Yep. And for ease of payment, I was hoping we right now currently pay quarterly. Just for ease of it, I was hoping to just pay this once when we get the contract back, get the invoice, just pay this once a year. We've had great service from the sheriff's office. And I've worked directly with the sheriff. We know we're going to have a day car. We'll have a point of contact for the city. So,
And that's within the funds, I assume, to pay once annually.
yep, we budget for it. Yep. So ease of bookkeeping on their end and really ease of us too. We just have one check to write a year then instead of quarterly.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Fillmore County Sheriff's contract renewal.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? We'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. The next thing is the washer compactor bar screener. I've never learned so much about a wastewater treatment plant as I have in the last month. It's been actually quite eye-opening. So in September, we brought to you the compactor, what we call the sausage maker, that removes all of the debris, is broke. When the engineers came, that was going to be kind of a modified washer compactor at that point. When the engineers came actually from Minnesota Pump Works to review the washer compactor and how that would all work, they noticed that the bar screener had frozen links. We actually have a broken link. And we, instead of doing a washer compactor retrofitted, we can get a washer compactor and a bar screener all in one unit. But with them coming together plus the installation, it's an extra $55,231 that was not approved prior.
Well, and why we didn't go with the bar screener at the time is the salesman told us that it was gonna be $500,000.
Right.
That's one unit.
Yeah,
So we opted because the screener needed to be, or the compactor. needs-
Compactor was really, really in need of repair at that point. We just didn't realize that the bar screener was going to be a more reasonable priced item. But I also learned that failure of the bar screener would cause a wastewater treatment plant to not function at all. I think we all like our toilets to flush and to have our wastewater processed. So we were hoping to get the repairs done sooner and get this all done in one fell swoop versus an emergency. If it does go down, we're paying just that much more, I would
I
think.
think we're looking at spring, late spring, early summer install probably.
Yep. Actually, I think Corey was hoping early spring. Hoping. We'll see. Got to get on their list first.
So in the screen, when a link is froze, is that one out of many links?
Yes.
And
But if that one link breaks, the whole thing breaks. I mean, like
it is broke.
one is broke.
It's froze.
It's froze. But if it breaks,
It's not broken.
it's not like,
broken.
yeah, it's not
Okay.
like,
We're close.
we're close. We're close. But
I see. But
Mhm.
there's no maintenance on the thing itself. You have to just check the whole thing because of Lopez. Run.
yeah, not 100% sure.
Terry, is that screener, bar screener, compactor, that's probably been there since the plant was built, or?
Been there from
That's what Corey was
probably the
thinking.
early 90s.
Yeah.
maybe before.
Okay.
It's been there for quite some time.
So it's.
And it
it's
runs, and that bar screener runs 365 days, 24 hours a day. So it's
Or
constantly.
now it doesn't.
Or no, well, yeah, well,
It's
it
still
does, but maybe
just
just
not-
not as functioning as well as it
probably
could.
effectively as it should.
We've had rags,
Plastic bottles.
plastic bottles and things get through there because it's not doing its
Hmm.
job effectively. And then what we have, I think, 4 or 5 new pumps that we've just replaced down there. And some of that debris has been getting into those pumps, and those are brand new. We don't want to wreck those if we can prevent it on the front end.
And I assume I know the answer, but the compactor will work with the new UV system, same as the
Oh, yeah.
screen.
Yep.
It's just a separate, same system, separate.
Yep.
Just a little bit different
Separate
function.
things, Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Different component. Yep. So total, it's $10,231 to install, and then $150 for the whole unit,
Which we approved 105
105, yep,
back in September.
September. Correct.
And this is within the fund currently? The sewer plant fund?
No, wastewater treatment plant is negative, and it usually runs negative because of the chemicals, and it's very costly to operate. So we would have to be creative on how we funded this. Probably do another interfund loan, pay that back.
The other thing with that, we, as the utility commission, will look at rates and see if we can help bring that money back sooner by a potential rate increase. Also, in the future.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the additional expenditure.
Second,
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, EDA.
do you remember Brian request?
Yeah.
You want to do the geotechnical boring first?
You what?
The
Oh, yes. Yeah,
geotechnical
sorry.
boring first?
Yeah.
That's okay.
I crossed it off without doing it.
Oh, you want to get done fast?
I know you wanted to do
Yep,
this
let's
fast. I
do
was-
the geotechnical boring
Yeah.
request.
As you saw on your agenda cover item, I spoke with engineer Brett Grabaugh. He sent out 4 solicitations for bids. He only received this one back from Chosen Valley Testing. This is something that we're going to have to do for our street project, and he was hoping for approval to get this going and get this started for in preparation, even if we didn't hypothetically do all of the street project, or we did it only in part, this would at least would be kind of like the design piece. It would be done, and we would know what we have for future.
I'd make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the geotechnical boring. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll do E EDA. First, we'll take the downtown revitalization grant. I'd make a motion to approve that.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? These are continuing. This is the first year we'll actually split the 40,000 in the budget between two different grants. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of that revitalization grant, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The bike trail extension land acquisition. Do you want to speak to that, Greg?
Yeah, I can explain that. For everybody's background, so one simple update, the DNR did send out the bids for the phase one from town to the county road 30 and did award it to, they had multiple bids, but the low bidder was Minowa. And so they're gearing up to have that roll. Phase two will be forthcoming this after the new year. But what this action item is about is when we bought a 30-foot wide corridor the whole way through. We were told that that was good enough. Once it was designed, we learned that in some spots they need a little bit wider to taper the earth and all that sort of stuff. They designed it. The issue we came across is in one short stretch, the neighbor where that easement was needed is somebody we've never worked with. They didn't contribute land to the bike trail in the beginning because they didn't want to. And so we went around them. And now we were in a slight quandary because they didn't want to give the lease. So our resolution to that is to just shift the trail onto the friendly landowner side on these two short stretches. Chris Geeson talked to both of them. They're willing to do that. That entails acquiring approximately 20 to 25 feet of width by the whole quarter section in one instance and a little bit off the other. So a little extra land needs to be bought is the short story. I think we're talking of acquiring at most an acre with those two things combined. So we're looking to be able to move forward with that. The hope would be, the expectation would be that the city could hopefully be reimbursed because the bonding money should be broad enough in scope to cover acquisition. I guess I wouldn't count on it 100% because you never know what roadblocks there could be, but that's the goal, is that the city just outlays the money for now, get reimbursed at some point along the way, assuming it fits within the scope of what the bonding money allows. So I think the action item here is looking for approval. EDA was recommending that we move forward with pursuing the land needed, first getting the DNR to redesign it so we know exactly what's needed, and then have the survey work done and purchase it like we did in the first round.
And it looks like you're thinking maybe $10,000 plus transaction cost.
Yeah, just kind of using the benchmark of $10,000 an acre for good land, hopefully it wouldn't exceed that, but it would be looking at whatever the value of that particular property was.
I'll make a motion to acquire the additional land as for the bike trail as proposed.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And the city would request a grant from the community fund to purchase that, submit a grant.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I think the Community Foundation had previously approved a little more money for the bike tour project that has not been called upon. So hopefully it would be an easy thing to pass through. Yeah, right. An easy ask. Yeah. Hopefully that was the thinking of the meeting.
All right, hearing no further discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And the new home rebate program, EDA is asking to renew that for the upcoming year.
Same as it currently is, Steve.
Yes,
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
motion and a second to approve the new home rebate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Did we have to do anything with the take back of the industrial park land?
Not since we approved it last
Last
time, but I guess simple update is that
Sure.
the property owner did not take us up on our offer for an extension, at least as of, now.
Mhm.
And so, proceeding then to talk to Dwight Lumens, who we contacted to help advance that forward. So we sent him the stuff. We just need to follow up, make sure he's pursuing it.
All right. Sick time. Resolution.
So then every city administrator, of course, my mayor for like the last 6 months. It's changed quite significantly. We actually recheck every other day just to make sure that nothing's changed. So I'll be working on revising the current personnel policy to be amended to reflect the earned sick and safe time leave. Because we have enough for PTO time, that we have a more generous PTO accrual than what the state is requiring. We just have to really include the language to include our part-timers getting sick and safe time. What we have in here, so volunteer ambulance and fire are part-time. Anyone who, this would even include our summer employees, anyone who earns over 80 hours a year has to accrue earned sick and safe time. For the reasons mentioned, the state has outlined, this is everything from the League of Minnesota Cities and Department of Labor and Industry that we're supposed to follow, which I'll incorporate into the personnel policy. This has to be implemented by law January 1. So I was hoping for a motion to approve the adoption of the sick and safe time policy to get working on the personnel policy to amend that and rework that as is needed.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2317.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. In the Abdu Accounting Services proposal,
Yes. Abdo Accounting Services, they're our auditors. They also worked with me when I first started here at the city 4 years ago. In getting our books caught up, they've helped me with best practices and things like that. And knowing that we are going full into audit season and also looking to hire a finance clerk with enough coming up, with some governmental background. One thing that I got hung up on last year were some of the audit papers that I had never seen before. And I went through accounting classes and they just don't teach you these things, and even in advanced accounting class. They're offering this proposal is to assist us with hosting trainings, all the different work papers. They would record the trainings, be a best practice phone call away. They'd give us a point of contact. And would record our trainings for future reference, should we need them, we just forget. It's something you only do once a year, right? So, hoping for a little bit smoother audits, we can do maybe, hopefully, as we learn a little bit more, and on board with that. You know, just preparing better financial projections for you, as a council. But this was more discussion, it's expensive. But I think long-term, it can only help us. They're estimating 15 to 20,000. But I'm not 100% sure. I mean, that's a lot of hours devoted to that, so I'm not sure.
So we haven't identified how many hours we're going to use them.
No, we have not. But they've listed other staff level, partner, Tom Olinger, his partner. His partner, so he's at $480 an hour. If we just have an associate and accounting specialist, it's $180 to $200 an hour. They would, I work here for a second.
Are they thinking that 15 to 20 would be what, if it was the ground zero? I mean, you're starting, you have no experience to train
Yes.
that person.
Correct, yep, they're kind of starting at ground zero. They will help with policy development, process flows and efficiencies. They will help us automate some things. There might be some things in our office that we might be able to automate a little bit more. That maybe we're touching paper a few too many times.
Could it potentially save us on audit costs, future audit costs?
Correct, yep. This is not gonna bottleneck with me. We'll have more than one person in the office trained to do this.
So you've worked with them in the past for some of your trainings. Are any of those trainings recorded or available?
No, that wasn't something that they offered back then.
Okay.
So this has been something new they've been doing over the last couple of years.
Sure.
But,
I'm a little concerned only 39% of their employees are males.
I thought it was rather sexist myself when I read that, but whatever.
well, there's an application for that. Yeah, they have been, they actually reached out when they noticed that we had a finance clerk position open, they actually reached out to me to ask how they could help. Just because they knew we were going into audit season, and I will be honest, audit season last year, doing it by myself was quite brutal. I'd be on an ambulance call and they were waiting for a work paper from me. And it just was not very smooth at all, so. And that was one of the biggest things that we had last year over audit, and it did cost quite a bit.
We'll make a motion to approve the accounting services proposal.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then the clerk.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Yes, I wish Domingo was here, he was with me as well. We've had 4 interviews, and it was actually came down to just a couple, but it was really hard to choose because they both had very good, strong backgrounds in finance. Karen Ebenhorst is the recommendation that we came up with to be hired for the finance clerk position. She has over 20 years of experience in payroll, HR, in prior positions, as well as government finance and accounting at the other treasurer's office. So she does bring quite a bit with her. And she has experience with audits, and we're right in the middle of the throes of one. So with her experience, I was hoping to start her at a grade 3, step 2 on a new 2024 salary grid, based on her experience. And just starting, normally we'd start like at a 3-1, starting at the bottom, but with her experience, and she's bringing quite a bit to the plate, to the table, and would be able to take quite a bit off her plate, I think, right at the get-go.
How many hours a week is this?
30 to 32, and, which is what she was looking for.
Which is what the prior finance book was at too.
Correct, yep.
I would make a motion to approve the recommendation to hire Karen at grade 3, step 2.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Well, if you're listening online, Karen, congratulations.
When does she start?
She will start, January 2nd. I'm kind of excited about that. There are a couple of other minor, time off, different things that she's already had planned, that we'll work through, but I don't see that being any issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, very excited, right in the middle of an audit, we're just getting started, so it'll be, be able to get her feet wet.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the designated polling place for 2024.
Second.
Motion and a second for resolution 2314. Any further discussion or any discussion at all?
No. Well, no, we do have, March is our,
Primary? Mhm. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any reports? Library?
Yeah, library.
Were you just observing or did you want to? Okay, okay.
Yeah, from the library, we had a book fair during the Breakfast with Santa event. Over that weekend, we raised over $1,000, which will bring roughly 90 new children's books into the library and other educational resources. So we're planning to do that annually with the Breakfast with Santa event, so everyone can count on that. On December 22nd, which is a Friday, 10 to 1, there's an open house for Deb Mall, who will be leaving the library staff, moving to Ohio to be closer with family. So feel free to stop on in and thank her for her service. That's December 22nd, 10 to 1. And we hired a new staff member, Teresa Jetchi, who lives in Harmony, and she'll begin closer to the end of the month. So we welcome her on board for library staff.
How many hours does she work?
15. a week.
15 a week? All right. Park Board,
We did not meet.
Chamber, did you want to speak to anything?
Just that we have holidays in Harmony tomorrow, and that's the big hallmark moment for the holidays here. So Blitzen the Reindeer will be at the visitor center. There'll be free horse and wagon rides at the residential lights. A lot of downtown businesses are going to be open late from 5:30 to 8 o'clock, raffles and drawings and restaurants. Santa is going to be at Gabby Lou's. The Gem Theater will have free claymation movies with popcorn. ECFE will be set up with kid stuff at the activities at the visitor center, and we'll also have the campfire with s'mores. So lots of stuff going on.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be tomorrow night.
Good. Arts Board,
Arts Board, we did our judging for the light contest, and congrats to Phil Burkholder and Cindy Ink, Amber Osmondson, and Mingo and Mindy Kingsley. They were our winners for this year, with lots of honorable mentions. So feel free to drive or walk around and check out all the festive holiday lighting.
all right. I think we covered the EDA pretty well.
The only thing with utilities, I wanted to just put this out here. What the wastewater treatment plant has been seeing a lot of is what they call fog. And Terry and Corey, Brian, they just had we did like 2 weeks, I think, of training on fog. It's fats, oils, and grease. We're gonna put something out in the newsletter. We're gonna have some education online, just making sure that people are not dumping their fats, their oils, their greases down the toilets, down the sinks. I would love to put a poll out there to see what people think a 55-gallon drum of degreaser costs. Because it's a lot more than you think it is. But if that freezes in our sewer plant, it's very thick, it's very hard to break up. So we're trying to have people not dump as much down their drains and that just put a little bit of education out there.
I wonder if it makes sense just to contact the restaurants and see what they're
Doing that.
doing. I've had,
Yep.
when I had the
Doing that
restaurant,
too.
I had a grease trap that would
Yeah,
trap, and
And
then,
they-
but that needed to be maintained.
maintained,
Yeah.
yeah, yep. There's, I want to call it like deep cleaners or whatever, what do you want to call it? Anyway, but yeah, you had like a basin there that you would have to clean it and whatnot, but just wanted to put that out there. We have been seeing a lot of extra fats, oils, and grease in our sewer plant, and just be cognizant of that, so. It's not something everyone talks about, is degreasers and grease bugs and all of things like that, so.
And did they mention, is there like, they're not having like oil and gas?
No, it's specifically food.
Okay.
Food grade, fats, oils, things like that, that they're seeing in that.
Okay.
And so the degreaser goes into every lift station, so it's on the south end of a lot of our pumps in our stations, so downtown and south. So. There's nothing on the north end that we really have to be worried about, but everything just, yeah, clean up there.
All right. Anybody have anything else for our meeting? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
I did not think that was going to be an hour.
What's that?
I did not think that was going to be an hour. I was very nervous. Oh my gosh.
Good job,
Yep,
Steve.
nice.
There you go. You got your pen.
Got my pen.
Oh. Was I supposed to call him?
Cool.
Who did you send?
Oh, no, it was supposed to go to the sheriff and not you, and